Hello everyone, welcome back to the last review of Maîtresse d'un homme marié. Today I'm going to talk about the last episode of the third season of Maîtresse d'un homme marié, which is episode 32 of the third season. In the first scene, we see that Merdjang, Page, Amsa, and Biram are together. Biram makes an announcement. He's like, "Mom, I took a big decision and I need your support." Of course, Merdjang is like, "What kind of decision? What did you do? Why didn't you consult me before you made this decision?" But Page already tells her, "Be patient, let him tell it." Biram continues, "I have noticed that being indecisive is not a good trait, and thankfully everybody knows me and would say that I'm a man who takes action." And then he's like, "I want to marry someone." Page is all encouraging him, cheering him on. Amsa's like, "Who?" Page and Merdjang are getting excited by this, and Biram continues because Biram likes to do speeches. And he's like, "The woman that I want to marry has character. She is a typical Senegalese woman and she loves churai." And then he says, "I want to marry Amsa." Of course, Page is the happiest man ever. And he's like, I told you you had to be patient." And Merdjang is also happy and they're all smiles. Then we move to Tahirou 2.0, and he's actually in his car that doesn't have any license plates, and he calls Edie, and he calls Edie to talk about how thankful he is for him as a friend. And he also adds that if Djalika wasn't there for him, that he would not have made it. But either way, he wants to thank Edie. And what Edie tells him is that no, we are the same. You're welcome. And I know that if I were in your position, you would have done the same for me. Then we find ourselves in the garden with Dalanda and the twins. And then Ben comes up and she's like, "Oh, what are you guys doing here?" Dalanda explains that they picked up Mam Binta and that Yolande wanted to stay with Mam Binta, so Tahirou is going to pick them up later. Ben then makes a comment of, "See, they weren't lost, there was just no communication." Dalanda tells her that, if it's for the kids, it's okay to communicate with Tahirou. And Ben is like, "But how many times have I told you, do it for the kids, but you don't listen. You are very stubborn." And then, you know what, we should get out of the car, and I'm so tired of raising these kids. And they suggest that they go on a holiday, but in reality, this scene is only an ad for this website where you can just book accommodation elsewhere in Senegal. Biram is expressing to Rocky that it hurts for him because it is so hard, as he cannot prove that it is Salif. And Rocky suggests that they go to the police and make sure that the police will do their investigations. But Biram doesn't trust that because he's like, "Girl, my signature is on all these documents. And I'm the kind of person that, I take a lot of risks, but going to prison is not one of them." So eventually he tells Rocky that actually he wants to complete the sale of the Aquanic apartments before taking any action. Not too long after, we see him with Amsa, and then some police officers are actually passing them by, and they go into another room. And then the police officers approach Salif directly and they arrest him. Salif, of course, is like, "Why are you arresting me?" Even Mansoura is there. She is in shock. As the police officers escort Salif past Biram, Salif tells Biram that he is a son of a bee. Biram tells him that, "You know what? Everybody already knows that about me. But do you know what? You are the one that's going to prison." And then Biram tells the police officers take him with you. But the last thing Salif says is, I will kill you. When the room is basically empty and it's only Biram and Mansoura left, she is trying to tell him that she is going to talk to the police officers. She even explains to Biram how she actually found out some proof that it was Salif and not Biram behind the whole scam. Biram asks her like, yeah, but what do you want now? And what Mansoura tells him is that she does not want to see him, you know, ruined, and she does not want to see him hurt. However, Biram does not trust Mansoura anymore. He tells her that it's too late. She should have thought about that before, but also that Seneginja has lost too much by this whole thing. That the most important thing to her is that she does not want to see Biram fall. But Biram doesn't want to hear any of it, and he tells her that he does not want to see her ever again. Then we move to Raki and Mustafa. They're in the car and they're just talking about Mustafa and his career, and he's trying to explain to her how he sees it, you know, moving forward. And he tells her that now they just did this one song and that afterwards they want to work on more songs and eventually they want to work on albums. And of course, lo and behold, as they are talking, his song plays on the radio and they are so happy, and Raki tells him, let's go home and celebrate. Then we move to a scene in which we see Yolande sitting on the couch on her phone, and we see Djalika. And Djalika is just busy in the kitchen making some lunch as Mam Binta walks in from school, and Djalika asks her like, how was school, and then gives her a plate of food. And she tells Yolande to come and eat, but Yolande says that she wants to wait for her father to eat. But Djalika explains that their father is not gonna come back anytime soon, and Mam Binta asks like, where is dad? Djalika explains that their father is actually giving some classes to medicine students and that he won't come back, and then again asks Yolande if she wants to come and eat. And even Mam Binta asks or tells Yolande to come and eat, but Yolande is like, I don't want to eat. Eventually, Djalika tells both girls that she is going to go home, check on the kids, but she will be back. Then we see that Regina is at the car wash, and there she finds Amidou. She gets to talking to him. However, she remarks right away that he looks nasty and that she thinks that he hasn't slept in a while, and he tells her, that's true, I haven't slept in a while, I've been very tired. And Regina's like, I really hope that this does not have anything to do with Raki, but Dalanda and I have talked, and she mentioned your wife who is deceased, Linda. She even tells him like, why haven't you talk to me about this? And then he tries to explain what happened. And what had happened was that he and Linda were supposed to get out of Dakar on like a holiday, but she got herself into a car accident and she died straight away. He's explaining to her that after that happened, that he became very depressed. His diagnosis was that he was not able to tell the difference between reality and his imagination. So Regina tells him that, you know what, you really know that you need professional help right now. And he tells her that, yes, I have planned to go to Tunisia because I need to see a health professional over there. And Regina is actually encouraging him to take on the professional help as soon as possible so that he can return to her and Dalanda as soon as possible as well. And she also emphasizes that they really need him on their side as well. And I thought it was kind of wholesome, but also not necessary, because Amidou did not deserve this crazy backstory, in my opinion. And the rest of this scene was basically an ad for the car wash. So many ads in this episode. Then we see how Djalika brings the kids to her mom's house. Djalika's mom wants to know what Djalika is up to, and she really hopes that this has nothing to do with Tahirou 2.0. Djalika is like, no mom, it has nothing to do with Tahirou 2.0. I just need to get some things in order to get my life back. Djalika's mom is, you know, she keeps prying because she's like, well, why didn't you bring the kids to Mistress? Because then at least they would be with their father. But Djalika is like, well, Mistress is their grandmother just like you. But then Djalika says something like, Mom, I know that if I would ever go away for a couple of days or a week, that I could trust my kids to you. And at this moment, we all should have known what was about to happen. Djalika's mom tells her that you bet, because I have made sure that you grew up to the woman you are now, so these kids don't scare me. But whenever Djalika leaves, I think her mom still thought something was up. Little did she know. Then we see how Djalika is back at the house and she sees Mam Binta, and she asks Mam Binta where Yolande is, but she tells her that Yolande is out, but she'll be back soon. Djalika also sees that the food that she put away for Yolande is untouched, and she tells Mam Binta that, you know what, this can no longer go on like this and she really needs help. However, Djalika does understand, considering what Yolande has been through. Of course, Yolande comes in and Djalika wants to know how she's doing. Yolande tells her that, are you still here? Why don't you go home and take care of your kids? And Djalika is like, I'm just here to help. But of course, Yolande is like, we don't need your help because my parents divorced. It's all because of your fault. If you didn't enter into our lives, all of this would never have happened. Even Mam Binta tells Yolande, you need to respect her a bit. But Yolande is like, there is no respect. Djalika tries to talk with Yolande and is like, you know what, considering your age and everything, I do understand where you're coming from. I mean, your family being dislocated like this can be easy. Even I didn't want this. And then she touches Yolande slightly on her shoulder and Yolande goes crazy. She pushes her so hard and it's like, don't touch me. Djalika is lying on the floor with some blood, and of course Tahirou comes in after it happens. Then we move to the wedding of Amsa and Biram, and you can see the difference when you compare to the baby shower of Cher's second child. It's like Mistress talking to Rocky's mom as if they have been besties since forever. It's crazy, but you know, the atmosphere is very festive. Then we move from the guests to the bride and groom, Amsa and Biram. They're basically just talking. Amsa is basically thanking Biram because she's like, you know what, there are a lot of girls. If a man decides to make you his wife, you should thank him. I don't know for what. Don't ask me what for. Because I don't know. Amsa continues. She's like, I just pray that you don't disappoint me and that I don't disappoint you. However, I know that you will not disappoint me. It's Biram we're talking about. Then it's Biram's turn. He's like, today I'm here with a lot of love for this girl. And then Amsa thinks about Djalika, but crazily Biram is thinking about Marem. And I don't know why they talk about Marem, but what Biram is trying to explain to Amsa is that he now realizes that Amsa and Marem basically had the same character, Now that he knows this, he wishes for Marem to stay married to Cher. And he even says that he can now see how Marem was so much better than Lala. And in this scene, I was so confused because I don't know why we are talking about Marem at this point, because I have not seen Marem since season 2. So why is she even mentioned? However, Amsa says that if Cher didn't put Marem through what he put her through, that she would have been here. And she also says that Lala is the type of person that is a quiet person and that people mistake her quietness for politeness. She then says that, you know, Marem, the person she really is and the person you thought she was, are not the same. Then she continues to explain that whenever a man has a wife or a girlfriend, that the girlfriend can actually bring out either the best in them or the worst. If they had given Marem a fair chance, that she would have been able to put Cher on the right path. But look at him now. That scene basically ends with Mère Diagne and Mère So, Rocky's mom, congratulating them, and even Rocky and Mustafa. And it's all smiles and all good. Until Biram gets a message. From the next scene, everything happens so quickly and all over the place. But to summarize, it's like Yolande is crying so hard that it is not her fault. And even Tahirou 2.0 is crying. Dalanda comes in, but she doesn't understand what is happening yet. The first thing she says is, Tahirou, what did you do? Because she sees Yolande crying. So at first he's quiet, but then he starts crying and asking out loud, like, what will I do with the body? What should I do? When the girls are gone, Tahirou 2.0 is trying to explain to Dalanda what happened. That he found Djalika on the floor and that Yolande and Djalika got into it. Tahirou is crying and asking Dalanda, like, what should I do with the body? Djalika didn't deserve this. The only thing Dalanda says is that Yolande cannot support the pressure of a police investigation. We cannot put them into this. However, let's call the police and say it was an accident. However, Tahirou 2.0 takes the responsibility because the girls can't do this. He cries so hard and asks God, what has he done to deserve this? Dalanda cries too eventually and hugs him, but also tells him that she will do anything to defend him. I already told you that I knew something was going to happen in order for Dalanda and Tahirou 2.0 to become one team again. And this is it. They killed my girl Djalika. Next, we see that Biram is walking outside and he is crying. And as he's crying, we hear a voice. And the voice is supposed to represent Djalika. I don't know if it's a poem or, you know, just something to close off this whole season with. This is Djalika Sanya. This is what she stood for. Love. As a mother who fought for her kids. It continues to tell the story of Djalika and how she got married to Biram and how that was a hard marriage, and how she got married to Tahirou 2.0 and how that was. About her suffering, but we also see some fragments of Djalika's life. As the poem is being read, we also see scenes of, for example, Tahirou 2.0 being in prison, being visited by Ben, who is actually crying. We also see scenes where Yolande and Mam Binta are holding tight to their mother. We see how Djalika's mom is actually praying and crying. We see Biram crying. We see how Mère Diagne and Amsa are seated on the couch, her with her wedding dress and Bebe Malick being asleep on her lap. Then we see that Amina is coming to Amsa and asking her, "Auntie, where is my dad? What happened to my mom?" And as we see that scene, we hear the voice that represents Djalika. The only thing that brings me pain is the fact that my children will never see their mom again. That they will never feel the warmth of my hugs or kisses. Then it ends off with a question. Will there be someone taking care of them the way I did? Yes, because God always has a plan. I leave with no regrets, just in peace. It was not necessary, but I have to say that the last bit got me teary-eyed because, just because. Even though we may not be satisfied about how Maîtresse d'un homme marié ended, I do have to say that it was a pleasure doing all these reviews about the show, and there was always something to talk about. I do have to say that we did deserve better, but I will do a whole blog post about that one. I want to thank everyone for watching and keeping up with me with the episodes and interacting with me. I know that there is not another show that I can talk about the way I talked about Maîtresse d'un homme marié. However, who knows? Maybe Calista will come up with a new show that everyone wants to watch, will watch, and maybe I'll come back. For now, I will just do short reviews about shows that I already watched. For example, Pod et Marichou, Karma, Virginie, and stuff like that. So definitely be on the lookout for those. And of course, now that we can travel again, I hope to share some more traveling with you. And all in all, I want to thank everyone for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you have any questions, definitely let me know. If there's something that you don't agree with or you want to talk about, definitely let me know. Definitely check out SenegaleseTwisted.com for the blog post that I'm going to write about this episode, actually about the whole show. Definitely check out the comment section because most of the scenes were way too long. So I will definitely have some written commentary about the scenes as well. And I'll see you in my next video.